Hey guys, so for today we have another video in my history, major flaws and why it got cancelled series, and this time we will be going back the furthest we have ever gone, looking at the Dodge Rampage. If you are new to these types of videos, the first part focuses on looking back at the history of the car and all the details and specs, and then we jump to talking about the events that led to the car being cancelled and or any flaws that it had. We've already made our way through many Mopars, many different Dodges and Chryslers, so if you do want to check those videos out, you can find the playlist in the top right corner. And more episodes will be coming in the future as well. You'll see the video outline now on screen, and let's get started for the Rampage. The Rampage was pretty short-lived, getting 3 model years from 1982 to 1984 before being cancelled. So we can begin back in 1982. The Rampage was a front-wheel drive, subcompact, unibody coupe utility that was based on Chrysler's L platform. This L platform was used for many compact cars, produced from 1978 to 1990, and you can find the list on screen. Many of them are very similar Dodge and Plymouth vehicles. And as for the Rampage, that was the first front-wheel drive pickup from Detroit. So how did the Rampage come about? Well, first of all, there was actually a market for these car-based trucks back in the early 1980s. I'm not going to say it was booming, but each of the big three had a model. Chevy with the El Camino, and Ford gave the Durango a shot before Dodge used the name. Dodge decided to bring out the Rampage to compete. Other competitors included the Subaru Brat and Volkswagen Rabbit sport truck. During this time, the Plymouth Horizon and Dodge Omni were very popular, selling in the 50 to 70,000 unit range every year just in the US. The Omni and Horizon even won Europe's Car of the Year award for 1978, and then they got hatchback coupe variations in 1979 called the Dodge 024 and Plymouth TC3, and later they would be renamed the Charger and Turismo. Chrysler tried to replicate that success with the Dodge Rampage, released in 1982, and also the rebadged variant Plymouth Scamp in 1983, creating pickups that were based on the economy cars, or as we can call them, car trucks. I will also mention that Scamp a few times throughout the video. It's basically the same as the Rampage, but was only offered for 1983 with a Scamp and a Scamp GT model. It was functionally and visually the same as the Rampage. Another rumor has it that Lee Iacocca's special assignment man, Hank Carlini, who had come with him from Ford, helped to direct the creation of the first Rampage from a custom body shop. And when Lee saw that Rampage, he responded by saying, quote, "Do it," end quote. So looking at the various models, there were 2 trim levels, Standard Cab, which was around $7,000 US, and Sport Standard Cab, which was around $7,500 US. The Sport name was changed to Rampage 2.2 in 1983, named after the engine, which we'll get into as we look at performance later. And again, Plymouth had the Scamp, which was the equivalent to the Standard Cab, and the Scamp GT, which was equivalent to the Sport Standard Cab. If we adjust these numbers for inflation to 2020, it's a pretty good price, as you were getting one of these for under $20,000. As for the exterior design, the Rampage used the unibody construction and front fascia from the Dodge 024/Charger variant. The prototype Rampage was built with the 024/Turismo windshield and 4-door sedan front doors, but those didn't fit together properly, meaning that the Dodge engineers had to redesign new door glass, door seals, and glass drop mechanisms. The Rampage and Scamp were based on the Omni/Horizon platform with an extended wheelbase of 104 inches to accommodate the pickup bed found just behind the seats. The bed had a double wall construction with galvanized steel, but it was certainly small, 62 by 52 inches, so it was even hard to carry a sheet of plywood flat. The suspension design was also used from the Omni and Horizon, with McPherson struts and a linkless sway bar in the front, and leaf springs with C-leg shock absorbers in the back to help side-to-side stability. Dodge tried to redesign the front of the Rampage in 1984 by switching to a sportier grille and a new hood. Moving on inside, everything was taken straight from the Omni and Horizon once again, but there aren't too many photos around. If we look to some standard features, the standard cab versions, whether it would be the Rampage or the Scamp, were pretty well equipped for the time, coming with an interior hood release, power disc brakes, tinted glass, remote driver's mirror, color-keyed steering wheel, dual horns, a radio, day and night mirror, and high back bucket seats covered in vinyl. The Rampage Sport and Scamp GT versions came with more premium features like two-tone paint and tape, 14-inch color-keyed wheels, raised white leather tires, cloth-covered bucket seats with adjustable backs, special trim, a tachometer, and a clock. And optional features included air conditioning, intermittent wipers, heavy-duty cooling, road wheels, dual remote mirrors, and various radios. Taking a look at the performance, all of the models came with a Chrysler 2.2 carbureted inline 4-cylinder engine. The 1982 versions had 84 horsepower, and I believe the 1983s went up to 94 horsepower. Torque was 111 pound-feet, and that went up to 117 for 1983 as well. The first year offered a 4-speed manual or 3-speed automatic transmission, but a 5-speed manual was available on the standard cab and standard on the sport models beginning in 1983. 0 to 60 acceleration is claimed to be around 16 seconds, so quite slow, but owners were very happy with their gas mileage, which EPA claimed to be 28 mpg city and 47 mpg highway, but real-life owners found those numbers to be closer to the mid-30s. Still really good. The Rampage had a 1,145 pound payload, giving it a true half-ton rating and a 750 pound towing capability. Interesting, I saw that the Plymouth Scamp had a higher payload of 2,110 pounds, even though it was mechanically almost identical, and the curb weight for either model was around 2,350 pounds. Now, before we move on to the cancellation, there's a few more interesting facts about the Rampage. Firstly, Dodge never made a Rampage with factory-installed turbochargers, as those would not be used on the L-body passenger cars until 1985. However, one Chrysler executive who owned a Rampage decided to custom build his car truck, getting Chrysler trainees to install a turbo on his vehicle in early 1985. Secondly, we should talk about the Shelby Rampage that most people don't know about. Carroll Shelby actually told the Car Exchange in 1983, quote, "We are going to do a Rampage or a Shelby Street Fighter version of the Rampage," end quote. And in the end, there were 218 California Shelby Rampages made, with approximately 1/3 of them each in black, garnet red, and Santa Fe blue. They looked like Shelby Chargers in the front, and people knew them as the Direct Connection Rampage. They had many of the optional options standard, and added features like a performance exhaust, Shelby pedals, 15-inch wheels, and ground effects. Unfortunately, by the time the Shelby project began, there were already plans in place to cancel the Rampage, so it was never officially released. So that brings us to the next part of the video, looking at the reasoning for the cancellation and the flaws of the Rampage. I have come up with 4 different reasons and or flaws that refer to the car or Chrysler decisions. So let's have a look. The first reason is that Chrysler's anticipation for this vehicle never matched the sales. They believe that the popularity of the Omni and Horizon, which sold at least 40 to 50,000 units per year, would carry over to the Rampage and even capture new buyers, but that just wasn't the case. As I always say, even if the vehicle is really cool and reliable and does a good job at what it's supposed to do, without enough customers, it can't continue production. The Rampage peaked in 1982 with almost 17,000 sold, and then it went down to the 10,000s after that. So it was a total of just 37,401 units over the 3 years. The Plymouth Scamp sold even less, with 2,184 base models and 1,380 GTs in 1983, good for 3,564 total. Plus, you could also add those 218 unreleased California Shelbys. But that just wasn't good enough, and the truck got cut. These next reasons will help to explain why those sales were so low. First, this car truck was just stuck in the middle. Was it a sports coupe, or was it a compact truck? The media raved about it at first and showered it with praise, and rightly so, as it was a very cool vehicle. But they compared it to Porsches and Ferraris. But those buyers were not the target audience, and those cars were not the competition for this Rampage. You can find a long couple of quotes on screen from Popular Mechanics from their September 1982 magazine, where they say things like, quote, "The Rampage really belongs in a sports car test since it's more fun to drive than just about any 2-seater you can buy for under $20,000. Its performance will simply blow you away. If you need a truck for driving rather than hauling, this is the one," end quote. Then they said that it will get through a slalom course as fast as any vehicle you care to name, Porsches and Ferraris included. So as cool as it was stuck in the middle of 2 segments, doing things that trucks were not supposed to do, and drawing the wrong competition. Reason 3, because it was stuck in between segments, it wasn't very popular with light truck buyers, and that's kind of the market for this thing. Another Popular Mechanics quote reads, quote, "Nobody would really buy a Rampage as a strictly working truck. The bed is too short even to carry a single motorcycle. But you can carry light lumber or flats of plants in the back, while giving Porsche drivers fits on the way home from the nursery," end quote. So again, that illustrates that people that need a truck for work, even a smaller compact one, won't find the Rampage to be useful. And again with the Porsche comparisons, guys driving home from the job site aren't really interested in racing a Porsche. That's not really what the truck is meant to do. People interested in taking corners fast or racing other vehicles will buy a sports car and not a truck. The buyers also had the small bed as we mentioned, and the tiny interior which didn't help. So the truck market of consumers didn't have much interest in the Rampage. The final reason was that the demand for the car styles trucks was simply declining during the 1980s. These vehicles just weren't very popular anymore, and even the El Camino was gone after 1987. Other more truck-like compact trucks started to pop up as well from Japan, like the Mazda B-Series, Isuzu Faster, and Mitsubishi Forte, and all the Americans responded with the Ford Ranger, Chevrolet S10, and Dodge Dakota, all of which were far superior at being a truck than those car-style versions. And these new compact trucks were really what the working guys needed, with more power, more towing and payload, and a lot more space to haul tools and machinery. So that's the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching and hopefully you enjoyed it. What do you think about the Rampage? And were you one of the 37,000 that owned one? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you like these history flaws and cancellation series, tell me which model I should do next. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Mopar content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.